I listen to it all the time. I tell all my friends to Smack It Raw.
Following podcast contains mature content. The views and opinions expressed by the host are not necessarily those of the host. Listener discretion is advised. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to what might be the final episode of the Smackin It Raw Podcast. I am your host, the patron saint of podcast, and the Lord Matt Ritter, and I am here with my co-hosts this evening. He is, we'll go old school. He is the Pornhub Poppy, the Sultan of Spitter Swallow, Daddy Delgado, my friend Vince.
What's up, man? We're just going out for some smokes. That's all we're doing. Get some milk. We'll be back.
And joining us from Wallop Media, not Wednesday Night Wallop Media. He is a chef, an amateur stand-up comedian, and my good Canadian friend, Rylan.
How are you?
Ready to bitch slap Kyle for his opinion on Cat Williams.
Whoa!
I forgot that one dropped. I gotta promote that.
You should probably do that. Slightly overrated my ass. Anyway,
I gotta hear this.
Oh man, I wish he was here. I wish he was here.
Well, that's all right, because Rylan will tell you over and over and over again, these are just opinions, you know, of each individual person, and not everyone enjoys the same things. And he said he's not, that he's good, he's funny. He just, anyway, that's not what we're here to talk about. What we're here to talk about, so I'm guessing anyone who might tune in at some point to this episode wants to know why this is possibly the last episode of Smackin It Raw Podcast, or why we're going on an indefinite hiatus. And that's not an easy question to answer. I will tell you, it has nothing to do with my personal life. It has nothing to do with family or health or anything like that. It is a decision that I've come to over the last couple of weeks. Vince isn't going to like this, but the last conversation I had with him via text message kind of helped me come to that conclusion, because shortly thereafter I talked to Travis and made sure that you know, it wasn't going to be an issue. And Travis told me, you know, if you're not happy doing it anymore, then don't do it. And that's basically what we have come to. Is
people might blame me for this.
No, not necessarily. I mean, you weren't here last week, and Katie and I talked about it, and I haven't talked to Rylan. I've talked to a lot of my friends, right? I've talked to Powerbomb Jutsu, reached out, loved those guys, saying that it sucks that we're leaving. They wish we weren't. And I kind of told them what was going on. I let you and Katie know. Travis was the first to know, but then it was you and Katie, and then the calf. I talked to Mr. Warren Hayes. I talked to Rylan. I had people reaching out, and I appreciated that. And just so you guys know, getting off is not going anywhere. I am still going to be doing my horror podcast, Creation Conversation. I will still be on, so you can still find me podcasting, just not talking about wrestling. And these are the reasons why. First and foremost, I have been back and forth about how I feel about wrestling podcasting for a while. For those of you who are familiar with us, you know that I have been doing this for 8 years. And a lot of those years were really good years. I met amazing people. Vince was the first person outside of my two co-hosts that I started with, Eric and Travis, that reached out, that said, hey, I like your show. I'd like to work with you. And from there, it snowballed into an amazing, just random group of friends. Obviously, Rylan and Kyle, even though I give Kyle a lot of shit, our Canadian boys over there. I talked about Mr. Warren Hayes. I talked about Powerbomb Jutsu. Everyone in the calf, Katie, Jaylan, Just, Reek, TC, Jizzy, having the Dead Ass Girls on, doing things with Young Kings Wrestling, everything that I did with Smack Raw, and the 2 co-hosts that I stole from Kyle over there, and getting to work with Marks with Mikes, who are awesome guys. The Get Yo podcast, everyone but Jay, who doesn't like me because I'm white. All of these things that I got to do, like Charlie, fucking Kyle.
You got to do Charlie?
I everyone's done Charlie. He's a little bit of a slut. No, all of these amazing people. Kyle from the Apron Bump. I worked with Kenny and Joey Carney. Kenny for Your Thoughts. Joey Carney. We had so many really cool people. We've worked with the Public Enemies podcast. We've worked with come on, help me out, Vince.
Wallet Media here. We've worked
after I mentioned them, and he's sitting right here.
Those Western Girls, we worked with them as well. Man, so many names. You mentioned Parbound Jutsu. You mentioned Mark with Mikes. We had
Kristen
Ivan
Ashley,
Kristen
Ivan, and the Circle of Debate guys, Tim King, and everyone from that group that we had on. Justin, and so many people from that group that we got to work with, do their shows. Down for the Count. Love them. They're amazing. They've done Getting Off and this. There's someone on the tip of my tongue, and I can't. Foul Original we had on right when he released his album.
Yes.
Right to kick off his album release. That was one of the first guests that we had, especially from overseas. We've done Warren Hayes and Kristen Ashley and the PWI stuff. Like, we've met so many cool people, made so many cool friends, done so many amazing things. Fucking Kofi Wheatston and those guys came on in the middle of a party and rolled through. Like,
shout out to Sir Wilkins. You got him in here before he started charging people.
Yeah, we got Sir Wilkins in here before he started charging people. We had Tino come on, and his parents tuned in to watch the show, which was a terrible idea. But that happened. I apologize.
I think my mom's watched this show a couple times too.
I apologize to anyone's parents who watch the show for the things that I say. The point is that in 8 years, a lot of it has been fantastic. And the last year and a half, 2 years, however long it's been since Pornhub shut us down, has not been that. It has been almost impossible outside of the group of friends that we have already met to reach out and get people to come on and co-host our show, who actually know what our show is about, who do our things. Shout out to the Broadcast, who I have tried for 8 years to get on this podcast and been cock teased over and over again by our Australian friends, but are always here in the comments supporting us.
Yeah.
Appreciate you guys.
Appreciate you.
No, the last year and a half, 2 years, however long it's been since Pornhub shut us down, it feels like if I wasn't coming to you and being like, hey, do you want to be on Pornhub? Oh, that sounds cool. Let me do that. That no one really wanted to come join us and do our show anymore unless they were already familiar with us. And that wasn't the community that I had been a part of prior to this that I really enjoyed, because a lot of those friends were made before Pornhub. Pornhub came after we made a lot of those friends. And some of those friends were made because of Pornhub. It doesn't feel the same. It doesn't feel like the community. Shout out to Bakley, Cage My IQ again. Great O'Con sent him. It doesn't feel the same. It doesn't have the same magic for me when it comes to wrestling podcasting. And that's fine if I enjoyed what I was watching and covering to just talk about it with my friends, right? Because I always say you should podcast because you enjoy it.
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't enjoy it, then you shouldn't do it. And that is honestly, the sum of it is I don't feel like I'm part of the wrestling community in that way anymore. And then on top of that, the product that I am being given, I do not enjoy covering or talking about anymore. There's nothing currently going on, which is crazy to say because we are in a time where there is more wrestling easily accessible than any other time in the 38 years that I have been fucking alive. Right? and I am not interested in any of it. And that's a me thing. TKO has a big part of that. I have been a WWE fan essentially all of my life. That is the kind of wrestling that I enjoy. I will never tell you that if you are a New Japan guy, which I have famously called fan fiction and poked fun at, but I'm not going to tell you like your wrestling is bad if that's the wrestling you like. We never do toxic fandom here. If you are an AEW fan, be a fan of AEW. Again, Bakley is in the chat. Bakley sends me stuff from New Japan, even though he knows that outside of the Great Okan, I don't give a fuck. He sends me stuff all the time. GCW, New Japan, just keeps me up to date on what's going on. So peripherally, I'm aware of everything that's going on. Bloodsport, all of that. And a lot of that has to do with Bakley. Some of it has to do with friends like Vince and Ryland. I've had friends bring me on to watch New Japan stuff, and he'll keep doing it. Thank you, Bakley. I watch AEW Dynamite every week. Listen, nothing against AEW. The only thing in AEW I give two fucks about is Tony Storm. That is it. There is no other characters. There are no other wrestlers. Like, there are wrestlers that are cool and all right, but I'm not invested. I'm not entertained or invested in anyone but Tony Storm. And she gets maybe 5 to 10 minutes a week. And that is not enough to fuel me to continue doing this podcast. As far as WWE goes, again, same thing. Like, there's a lot of wrestlers over there that I do love and enjoy as people and as wrestlers, but also there is nothing currently going on between Raw, Smackdown, or NXT that I am really, truly invested in, that I give a shit about enough to continue doing this. And then you take everything that TKO has done since they've taken over. The Trump MAGA ads on my wrestling, the bringing back Brock Lesnar, raising ticket prices and pricing people out of being able to attend WrestleMania, putting WrestleMania in a place just because it's going to make money and not giving a fuck about the fans, raising ticket prices across the board, raising, Peacock, fuck you for raising your prices, because now I might, after I finish Twisted Metal, I'm probably going to cancel my Peacock subscription, or at least knock it down to the ad tier.
Yeah.
I'm not paying $17 fucking dollars for Peacock, especially if I'm not watching wrestling.
No.
Then you're going to sell it to ESPN, and ESPN wants to charge you fucking $30. Like, they're giving me more reasons to not want to continue to watch wrestling than they are to watch wrestling. At least if there was amazing stories that had me hooked and entertained, I'd be like, all right, cool. But there's nothing in WWE. There's nothing in AEW. I tried TNA, especially when this partnership came and we had WWE wrestlers going over there. I'm like, let me give it a shot. Again, nothing. Don't tell Quiet that.
I don't know what you mean by that, Mike.
Oh, Quiet from Twisted Metal.
Oh, okay, cool. All right. As long as it makes sense. As long as it makes sense to somebody.
Like I said, I watch Dynamite every week. I have access to all of this stuff. I am not interested in anything that I'm watching. And I feel like it comes through on the show, and I don't want to. We don't fake orgasms around here on the Smackin It Raw podcast. All of our orgasms are real orgasms. We don't fucking fake it, and I don't want to fake it. I don't want to phone it in. I don't want to fake it. I don't want it to become a thing where I find myself watching wrestling weekly, and wrestling is on, and I am occasionally looking up to type something in my notes as a match is happening or as a promo's going. And I'm listening for like the key moments to like put my notes to talk about and be funny about, but I'm not really watching the show. I'm not invested in the show. I can get up and walk away, go outside and have a smoke with my wife, come back in the middle of a match and not give a fuck what happened. And it doesn't matter the product. And that's a me thing, right? Like, I fell out of love with wrestling. And there are a lot of factors for that I just talked about and mentioned, and fuck TKO because they're a big part of it. And that, listen, if you guys, this isn't going to be like you shouldn't care. Like, I don't want to hear any of that shit. These are my reasons why I no longer want to do this. If you don't care that Brock Lesnar came back, if you don't care about Trump ads, or if you're like, you shouldn't be surprised, that's fine. Vince and I have talked. I have a hard time continuing to support a company that does not share the same values that I do. Yeah. And is fastly moving in the opposite direction. And one thing Smackin It Raw has always been is a beacon for those kind of values, where we sit down, we have discussions. I used to do during, all of the George Floyd stuff and everything, like, messages to white people because white people are fucking stupid, and to like explain shit to them because they don't understand. We've promoted Black Lives Matter. We've promoted, Pride Month. We've done all of these things. We made our the shirts for abortion rights. Like we've done all of these things. These are the values. These are the things we care about. This is what we wanted to use that platform for, on top of watching wrestling. And the product that I enjoy the most has kind of soured me on everything. And I've looked around at other places, and maybe I'll find my love. Travis said I need to find my smile again, and maybe I will. Maybe I'll find it somewhere else eventually. But I have lost my smile. So until I find my smile again, Smackin It Raw is no longer a thing after tonight. That doesn't mean I don't love podcasting. I will say I have let views and listens, and the amount of views and listens, I'm not going to lie to you guys. All of my friends, the two men here, everyone in the chat, everyone in my group chats tell me how amazing and awesome and funny and great I am at doing this, right? But the views and the listens don't match the hype that my friends give me. And it has also gotten to me over time because it has been 8 years that I have been doing this. And I feel like after 8 years, this should be farther along.
Yeah.
We should have a more dedicated fan base and following. And I have not got that. And maybe I spread myself too thin. Maybe it was, we did Smackin It Raw, and I was doing If You Have to Ask with my wife, and we had Return to Wrestling, and then I did Getting Off, and then we're doing the Creation Conversation. So maybe I'm not focusing enough. Yeah, there is no salmon jacket, bro. This is it for real. So maybe I need to focus myself somewhere with something that I still do truly love. And what I do truly love is horror movies. So Getting Off will still exist.
Yeah.
That will be a place where you can hear me talk about something I love in a way that I love it. I don't know. I wanted to be farther along after 8 years with a more dedicated fan base. I see, not going to lie, I see a lot of way less talented fucking people out there with a lot bigger following, and all they do is bitch and complain. And I'm not here to bitch and complain. I don't want to hate watch wrestling.
Yeah.
I want to love it. I want to enjoy it. I want it to be fucking fun. Now, don't get me wrong. Outside of a couple chuckles from Vince and Ryland, this whole beginning of this show has not been fun. This has been sad, Matt, bullshit. But
listen,
I want you all to know why
we're going to turn it the fuck up. We're going to turn it the fuck up.
We're turning those downers into some uppers real quick. You know what? I've shared the same sentiments with Matt, like Matt expressed. I sent him a text message earlier in the week, and I told him, I was like, "Hey, man, I kind of been away from the group chat real quick for a couple days, and I saw your message there, and I saw your message on the show, and honestly, I'm just glad to know that I'm not the only one that feels the way that they do about the product, about wrestling in general. Like, it's very exhausting." Like the tribalism, like the back and forth between like AEW and WWE fans going back and forth. I'm like, if you like it, you like it. Like, why the fuck y'all gotta like sit? Yes, Matt.
Well, I mean, it is my show and it's the last show, but I listen, because this is possibly the last show ever. Everyone on the internet, the vast majority of you fucking suck as people.
Oh,
you
yeah.
are terrible, awful people. And I don't like interacting with the majority of you because you are so negative and awful to companies that don't give a fuck about you.
Exactly. Like it's just so disheartening, honestly. Like, I can't even make a fucking joke without like being attacked and being like almost like chased with metaphorical pitchforks and like torches. Jesus says, I haven't watched anything post SummerSlam. It's felt like a chore for so long. Listen, between SmackDown being on USA, which now you need cable, and then you need to have the CW to watch NXT, and then you need to have Netflix to watch Raw, and then you need to have Peacock to watch the PLEs. So sorry I can't be there. It's okay, Katie. You're here. You have Evie on top of your head. You're all elite, baby.
Katie, you and I had our show, just you and me, last week. This was going to be the Just Me and Vince show to close out everything because we had our one-on-one time.
Yeah.
But Rylan messaged me and he's like, listen, Matt, I'm really going to miss you and I want to be there. I'll suck your dick. Can I please come on? And who am I to turn down a Canadian Hummer? Who am I to turn down a Canadian Hummer? So I said, yes.
No, yeah. No, I mean,
get the maple syrup out. Let's go.
So you guys lube up with maple syrup is what you're saying.
You don't?
Justin's like, damn, is that all it took? Justin wanted to be on here too because he found I told him that Katie wasn't going to be on the show and that it was just going to be me and you.
Justin, you can come join us. Like, all you have to do is ask me. Like, here's the thing. Yes, this is the final episode of Smackin It Raw. And originally I planned it to just be me and Vince. And I'm not going to lie to you. If it was just me and Vince, it probably would have been a really sad fucking show. And I don't think that it would have, because it would have just been you and I talking about why we don't love wrestling anymore.
Yeah.
So here's the deal. Smackin It Raw, like I said, we have had friends. We have made friends. We have done all of this stuff. And it has always been a fucking party. So if we are going to go out, we should go out having a fucking party. So if anyone in the chat, if you want to come join us and talk about the show and why you enjoyed the show and how you're going to miss it, or just have some laughs and bullshit with us for another hour and 10 minutes ish, let me know and I'll send a link. I got you. Come join us and let's have a fucking party.
Let's go. You know what?
I will say, what's one more clusterfuck right now?
Well, this is the money shot. So this is the finale of the clusterfucks.
Yeah. So talk about climaxing. But no, man, it's the same thing. And I texted him and I told him, it's like, I'm just happy to know that I'm not the only one that feels this way and that I'm not crazy. He said I wasn't alone. It was like, it's one of the reasons why I just kind of want to step away from it all as well. Like, it's very hard. Like, yeah, I'm enjoying Dom being included in stuff in AAA. Judgment Day hasn't been the best. CM Punk is still cool. You know, he won the title, but then he lost it to Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins is probably the least interesting person in his group. I like the Tribal Thief more, and I like the Steiner Math promos a little bit more. Then obviously Brock Lesnar being back, and like my big issue with Lesnar, on top of everything else, like he showed up, and then like the fuck, we haven't seen them since. What was the fucking point of him showing up? And we won't,
because that's how he does it. He comes in, and then he takes a bunch of time off, and then because now they're building to. Oh, listen, okay, so here's my thing. This whole John Cena heel turn has really turned me off of WWE this year. It has been one of the big things that, because in the beginning we all sat here and we're all excited about this. And as it drew its time out, these bad matches were happening over and over and over again. All these people were just like, we could have just cheered for him. We could have just had one more round to cheer for him. And now, just like that, he's a good guy again. And we're going to forget about that. That's the past. And I don't know. I'm tired of cheering for a company that just disrespects their audience that much, where they'll just flip on a dime and just be like, no.
Listen, Dwayne couldn't like change the dynamic of the DC multiverse or whatever the fuck he was preaching, so he came in here and like fucking disrupted everything in WWE. Like, we could have had that Rock Roman Reigns match that everybody wanted at WrestleMania 39, but we all know he wanted to get put over and wanted to win. Then now TKO is there and he wanted to have that Roman Reigns match because he wanted that fucking victory over him. Again, he came in and then he fucked over the John Cena heel turn. Why he didn't show up at WrestleMania, I'll never fucking know. He had the time in the day to go on Pat McAfee show the very next day to do Damage Control. Travis Scott was a fucking hot mess, and they completely ruined one of my GOAT's final year. Like, if I could go back in time and undo all that, I would. But yeah, no, it's just like ever since WrestleMania, they've just been going a little bit downhill. It's not fun, man. It's not fun. I like people. I want to support my people, but then they don't do shit.
But
you know.
And we also live in a world now too where you don't have to consume 3 hours of wrestling. You can watch it in clip form. You can seek out matches and get them like that. It's not like when we were coming up and like you had to watch it. You couldn't miss it.
Mm-hmm.
The links are sent on Twitter, guys. By the way. So.
Oh wow.
Justin has to like do a little like makeup touch up. He's got to do the little like dusting of the cheeks or something like that. That's usually his thing. But yeah, man. I mean, it is what it is. It's fine. I'm still enjoying some things. The main thing that I enjoy the most is talking about this every single week with my friends. So like, I like sitting here and talking with Matt. Like we've been on the plus side. Me and Matt have been on the same page the last couple shows we've done together, which is crazy. We have not been arguing back and forth like we usually
it's the final evolution. You finally now agree about things, and now you're just like, well, we can't have this. We can't have this.
Vince could only pretend that Judgment Day was good still for so long before he had to just give up and admit that it sucks.
No. They completely like fucking neutered my boys. They massacred my boys. They took away Carlito. They took away the clubhouse mystique. They used to do promos together in the ring, like the Bloodline and stuff. They were basically the Raw Timu version of the Bloodline. The whole entrance, the mystique, the theme song, the aesthetic. Purple is my favorite color, so that's one of the reasons I like them too. I'm vain like that. But, they changed the theme song. They make them black and white. They don't come out together. They're loosely associated with each other, and they're always bickering. At this point, it feels like they're the cast of Shameless because they're always getting into some sort of drama or whatever. Like Finn Balor is probably the most toxic person in that whole fucking clubhouse, and he's never satisfied. He's never fucking satisfied. That's my whole issue. like let shit ride, bro. Like it's always something wrong. But you know what? At this point, it is what it is. Hopefully, at some point, they get the shit together. If they break up, they break up. Me personally, I try to fix it with a little duct tape and a little like hot glue gun or something.
I think they've been doing that for a while. They've had like 40 new members, and you can only like just be like, all right, now this person's in the Judgment Day before you're like, this says NWO vibes.
It's okay. It's okay.
I will say though, before anything else, me and Kyle were talking about this earlier today. We really appreciate you guys for giving us up like a different style and platform to be goofy and have fun, because every time we come on, like from the first time, which God was like at this point, 3 years ago, till the last time, like this show is one of my favorite podcasts to be a part of. Like you guys have such a fun format and chemistry, and like again, we've worked together now on several different things, and we're going to continue to work together because it's fun shit. I will like more recently, I have found myself on Saturday nights at home, whether my son's fallen asleep or I'm just sitting like, I listened to the show one time on mushrooms. When Kyle had his and his girlfriend came on, and let me tell you, that was a trip. That was a fucking trip. That was a great show. No, but we love you guys, and this is very bittersweet. But like, I look, Matt, like I feel the burnout on wrestling. I have to figure out a way to consume it that works for me, because like I can't do weekly watching anymore. I'll seek out matches or skip through tons of shit, because like it's too much, especially with moving and everything that I've got coming up. Like it's hard to get inspired by a product that, for all the reasons that obviously you mentioned, but that like treats their fans like they're dumb. And don't get me wrong, like I understand you're not an AEW person, but like even with AEW, like I don't find myself wanting to watch Dynamite.
Oh, I just texted. I was like, "Where you at, homie?" He said, "Get your Justin Timberlake."
To be fair, To be fair, a
Oh,
lot of their fans are dumb.
hey,
Fair. That's fair.
exactly.
It's not, and that's the thing. It's not just wrestling burnout. Like, yeah, I do watch, what is it, 2.5 hours of Raw, 2 hours of NXT, 2 to 3 hours of Smackdown, 2 hours of AEW, and I have one day a week where there is no wrestling. Sometimes there's wrestling on the weekend both days.
Mhm.
Sometimes there's multiple shows on one day. Like you might get an NXT and then a SummerSlam on the same fucking day, or they'll have the Saturday night's main event and then the pay-per-view the next night.
Oh, yes. It's a
And it's a
lot.
lot of fucking wrestling. But it's also, like I said, this community, this podcasting community doesn't feel the way it did when I met each and every one of you over, like I said, it's been about 2 years, so 6 years, where everyone wanted to get together and talk wrestling and have a good time and have each other on their shows and do all of this shit. Like, it's not there anymore. It doesn't feel the same as it used to. And that's a lot of burnout too, is busting my ass, watching all of this wrestling, taking notes to come on here and do a show that outside of my friends, I feel like nobody gives a shit about. And that's hard. Like, this is like until I find my smile again, the final show of Smackin It Raw. So I'm going to be honest with you guys. Podcasting is amazing and fun when it is amazing and fun, but it can also suck and stress you the fuck out.
Right.
I've said it before. After 8 years, I expected to have a bigger viewer base than what we currently have, and I feel like the product deserves one, and it pisses me the fuck off that I don't, and that I don't know what to do outside of what I'm already doing to grow that, because it's been 8 fucking years. And I really felt like there were a lot of people we had on that I loved having on and I loved talking to that were like, yeah, no, we'd love to, have you, and never talk to me again. They basically came on to be like, I was on Pornhub, and then I never fucking heard from them again. A lot of people that came on here.
And once we weren't.
And once Pornhub went away, a lot of that love that we were getting also went away. And that made me feel like people only cared about the gimmick and not about me. And that fucking hurt. And that sucked. Because we've had a lot of good on this fucking show. Vince talked about fucking clusterfucks. Those clusterfuck episodes are fucking amazing. They're hilarious. They're a blast.
To this day,
I literally
Jesus still wants me to take off my shirt.
Everybody wants you to take off your shirt. Maybe for the last episode, you should finally fucking do it. I don't know.
Nah.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
I gotta end it like The Sopranos. I gotta go cut into
walk into a restaurant. Walk into a restaurant.
Yeah. Walk into the restaurant, pretend like I'm taking off my shirt, cuts the black. No.
I created an alter ego in the rack that would come on here and just flirt with every guy that he met and make them uncomfortable. Rylan listened to an episode where I basically spent the entire time saying that his co-host's girlfriend was better than him while he was on mushrooms, and enjoyed the fuck out of the show.
It's true.
All because I was mad at Rylan for things that he said.
Unfortunately, one of my favorite shows didn't include Matt because he was I think accompanying his wife for the birth of his first daughter. But Travis was on here hosting the show, and he was fucking hammered and singing like TV show theme songs with.
That was
TC.
my honeymoon.
Oh, that was your honeymoon. Okay.
And that's the thing. From the time that I have started this podcast, I have been married. I have had 2 children. And I have continued to do it through all of that. And very rarely have I missed an episode.
Rarely.
Travis made me take the week off for my honeymoon. He made me take off when I birthed my first child.
Well, you didn't.
I opted to take. Well, you weren't in the room, Vince.
You helped in the process.
Fair enough.
I tell my wife, and it pisses her off all the time, that I'm the baker and the baby's the cake and she's the oven.
I like that analogy.
Rylan, as the stand-up comedian, I would appreciate that joke.
Yeah. There's an image. There's an image there.
Oh my god.
So much stuff has happened. So many people have been met on this show. We've talked about so much stuff. I talked about the Pro Wrestling Pro Choice t-shirts that none of you guys fucking bought. Not you guys here, but like out there. None of you guys bought to help us support things. Black Lives Matter t-shirts that Young Kings Wrestling did that we wore and pushed the narrative of. Hi, Bakley, by the way. Hi, nice to have you.
Him and Justin had just been sitting here.
Chilling.
No,
Chilling.
Listen, I mean, I don't want to get into an emotional state, but yeah, I mean, Matt reached out to us a long time ago before I even met Matt, because Daryl was doing the Twitter, and he talked about how much he was a big fan of what we do in Getcho, and then even such to even reply back to us with a rap rhyme, which got the rest of us to check out his show and everything that he did, and we've been fans ever since, and we've been friends ever since. So
it was a Hulk Hogan diss rap, by the way, which tells you
yes, Hulk Hogan diss rap
8 years ago how much I fucking hated Hulk Hogan.
Yeah,
and none of that changed through his death. I don't care about complicated histories. Fuck that guy.
There's no complication in his history. Shut the fuck up about that. I hate that whole narrative. Stop it.
If you have listened to the Smackin It Raw podcast, or I don't know, a spinoff that we did called Return to Wrestling, where Travis forced me to sit down and choke my way through everything WCW, you have heard my thoughts and opinions on Hulk Hogan as a wrestler and as an entertainer.
You hear his thoughts on Hulk Hogan describing a scene like in the beginning of the intro of Return to Wrestling, talking about how he runs away like a little bitch. Like, that should let you know how he stands with Hulk Hogan. He
was a union breaker. He has the worst chair shots in wrestling fucking history.
Yeah.
His finisher is garbage, and I still stand by the fact that he was just the right guy. He was in the right place at the right time. And honestly, I think there are a handful of guys you could have put in that position and would have done just as much, if not more, for the wrestling business. He really wasn't that fucking special. And y'all need to take him off the goddamn pedestal.
I've always made the argument that you swap out Macho Man Randy Savage with Hulk Hogan and you don't skip a beat. You probably actually you probably actually
we'd be better off
a few beats forward.
We'd have better matches.
Yes.
Better promos.
Yeah.
I would also throw in Roddy Piper too.
Roddy Piper was a great heel. I don't know
because he too was also in the movie. He was in movies. Yeah. He also, waved the flag for kayfabe and all that. He did a lot more than what people give.
Hogan needed him to get over.
Exactly.
Yeah. WrestleMania 1.
Exactly.
Hogan needed everyone to get over. Andre the Giant, Macho Man, fucking Ultimate Warrior, Roddy Piper. He needed guys to help get him over.
Stallone.
Hogan didn't really put anyone over. Hogan didn't get guys over. Hogan basically refused to put guys over for the most part because he thought he was the star of the fucking show.
His last WWE match, he beat Randy Orton with like a torn quad. I'm like, great.
We covered that. We covered that with Justin. We're like,
this young upstart, 26-year-old Randy Orton versus 52-year-old Hulk Hogan with a torn ACL.
In the heat of his legend killer status.
Yes. The only legend he couldn't kill was Hulk Hogan. He tried to bang his daughter.
So, by the way, just mentioned it. When I first reached out to get your podcast, I didn't know who I was talking to. I didn't know that Daryl ran the Twitter. I assumed I was talking to Justin, and I was talking to Daryl the entire time, and did not find out because, I wanted to have Justin on the show. So I said, "Hey, do you want to come on the show?" And he said, "Let me reach out to my guys and see." And in the back of my head, I was like, I wasn't talking about the rest of them. I just wanted you on the show. But yeah, I mean, I guess bring everybody, but I was just kind of talking about you. Then come to find out, I wasn't even talking to the guy I thought I was talking to. I was talking to somebody else. And then his brother hates me because I'm white and didn't want to come do my show in 8 years. Hi, Jay. But no, we had you on. We had Daryl on, even though, his wife may or may not have beat him for it.
Yeah.
Charlie, again, hid from his wife and snuck on to come on and do the show. I had to take down an episode of the Get Yo podcast because one of the members did not let their wife know that it was going to be on Pornhub, and it became an issue. I believe I was at...
Not mine.
No, it was not Justin's wife. Justin's been on here many, many times.
I
no
believe
issues,
it.
But
Can we say who it was? I think I know who it was.
Maybe we'll just have them guess, but we don't have.
Yeah, let's let them guess. It doesn't matter. What the point is, I was at a party. It was a birthday party. I don't remember if it was my daughter's first birthday. I think it was my daughter's first birthday party, and I get a frantic text from Justin being like, "Hey, I need you to take that episode down. So and so's wife is worried about people from work finding out that her husband was on Pornhub." So then I've got to get a hold of Travis because, again, in 8 years, guys, outside of the live stream, I have not produced or edited or done shit. Basically, I come on with my friends and I talk a bunch of shit, and then Travis would cut the end in the beginning or like put the intro in, and then you guys would just get the fucking show. There's no editing going on for the most part. Very little. Like Mara will come and do clips and all that, but like I have never edited everything. I barely had access to anything up until this last year. For 7 years, I couldn't really do shit. So if something needed to come down or something happened, I had to go to Travis and hope that he saw my text and responded and then went and took care of it. So like I'm getting, hey, I need you to get rid of this episode. I'm like, I can't do it. I'll tell Travis and we'll see what happens. I don't know what's going to happen. But yeah, no, we had to do that. I remember telling Ryland I was surprised that his head didn't, move like this when he talked because he's Canadian.
Sometimes it does.
We have referred to Bakley as a soulless ginger who lives in a safe house repeatedly on this show. My favorite soulless ginger, by the way.
The number one soul ginger.
Oh, 1-800-GINGER is crazy.
Yep. Jizzy called me Paul Wall.
Oh my gosh, that was great.
Yeah. No, we've had a lot of cool people on here. Honestly, if it wasn't for Matt extending the invitation and giving me a home here, y'all, I probably wouldn't have met Ryland. I probably wouldn't have met Bakley. I probably wouldn't have met half the people that I did meet because I was in a place similar to where I am now, where Matt is now, but also work complications weren't allowing me to do Smack Raw anymore. So I'm like, well, I guess I'm done podcasting. I'll be back when I find my smile. I think I said the same thing on the last show I recorded with them. And then maybe a couple weeks later, Matt's like, hey man, do you want to come over here? Like, we'd love to bring you over here, be a co-host.
Listen, no, hold on. I need to clear something up about Smack Raw and me poaching their hosts, all right? First and foremost,
we're getting with the dirt
Vince, yeah, no. We're gonna put it out there on air, and you guys can listen. You guys can judge for yourself. So with Vince and I had become friends. We lived near each other. We were talking as friends outside of just doing podcasts together.
Yeah.
And Vince had told me the reason that he left Smacked Raw, other than creative differences with someone, was that his schedule no longer allowed him to record when they needed to record. And there were a lot of expectations for him to be available when he couldn't be available. And I was like, well, I'm just looking at my calendar here, and it seems like your free time also happens to be when I do a show. And Travis said he doesn't want to do Smackin' It Raw every week. And Eric said that this feels like watching wrestling has become work. So I kind of need a co-host. So if you're free and you still want to do this, you could just come over here and work with me since you are no longer available for the time slots that they need you over there. It just kind of magically worked out that my friend's new job resulted in him being free when I went live. As far as Katie goes, let me say some nice things about Katie. I don't know if she's actually still listening. She said she was going to check in. I don't even know if she has us on mute.
She probably is.
But, hopefully she's not listening because she's having girls' night right now, and I don't want her crying in front of her friends because I'm saying nice things. Katie showed up on Smacked Raw. I was there for one of her first shows. She kind of got left. Her co-host, his internet connection dropped, and she was there by herself. She didn't have access or know how to end the stream. Mm-hmm. She was just a guest. She couldn't shut it down. Her host had actually logged in. He was sick and then fell asleep. So she was just sitting here waiting for the show to end. And I kept telling her, just close your browser and they'll figure it out in the morning. And I supporting her through it. And that kind of built the foundation for what Young Kings Wrestling talks about and what we talk about when we call Katie, the rookie of the year and the hardest working woman in podcasting, everything. She continued to do all of that stuff. And eventually she got to a point to where she felt that she had outgrown Smacked Raw and she wanted to do her own thing. And I mean, I would call myself her mentor. I'm sure she would too, but I'm not tooting my own horn. Yes, I am. Fuck it. I'm her mentor. So she comes to me and she asked me what she should do because she had a couple offers on the table of like, hey, if you don't want to work there anymore, why don't you come work with us? She was also considering doing her own show. And I told her, I'm like, listen, you're fucking good at this. Take the leap, do your own thing. Take She Elite Showcase, make it your own thing. Simultaneously, while convincing her to do that, I also convinced her that she could feel free to join us anytime she wanted, and then just kept bringing her on until she was here every week. And I hooked her as my co-host for 2 shows now, while supporting her and doing her own thing over there. So that one I might have stole, but Vince had already left. All right. Vince was already gone.
Yeah.
So Matt didn't poach anybody.
No.
I definitely did. A little bit.
Well,
but
I mean,
I poached from because Justin poached Vince from me, and then you poached Vince from Justin.
Listen, you guys are making me sound like a $2 hooker passed around at the
You are a $2 hooker. Let's be clear.
Absolutely.
Now that I have you both here, let me just tell you something. Justin's like, hey, Vince, I need a co-host. All of the Asians don't want to hang out with me anymore, so we're going to bring in some Mexicans, and we're going to get you a whole new thing. And that was cool, and I loved that. And I was cool with that. And then Ryland's like, hey, Vince, Canadian-Mexican connection. Let's do this up. I also need a co-host. Kyle doesn't want to watch shitty wrestling shows with me anymore, or whatever the deal was.
But you know what? Probably how Kyle felt.
You guys do all realize what happened, right? This podcasting dick was so good that even though he went to both of you, he still came back to Dad every single week.
Oh my god!
That I told him that he had to be here.
Jesus says he'll bounce around everywhere except take his shirt off. What kind of whore are you, man?
Whoa!
Listen, the kind of whore that has body issues, okay? Have self-esteem issues. Do not body shame me here.
I am honestly happy that Vince has you guys, especially now that this is shutting down, because Vince, I give him a lot of credit in private via text message when he comes to me and he's having a hard time with stuff and he's like, I need some time off. I tell him how much he means to me and what a good podcaster he is and how much I love working with him in private, and I don't say it enough on air, so I guess I'll say it here. I am happy that I get to listen to Vince Delgado continue to do shows with 2 of my favorite people, Justin and Ryland, on multiple times a week now. Because now I don't have to listen to myself fucking talk just to hear Vince talk. Now I can go listen to Wallop Rewind, or I can go listen to the Get Yo podcast and the Sweaty Sessions and hear all of that stuff happen and still enjoy Vince, because Vince is really good at this. Vince is awesome. He is great, and I do love him. His opinions on wrestling suck, but that is a whole different thing that we're not talking about here.
I knew it was coming. I was like, oh, this is a good build right here. It's
a good build. Yeah, for sure. No, I appreciate it, Matt. And I'm just happy that I'm able to be here for what could be the money shot, if it is the money shot. I've enjoyed my time here. I spent more time here than I did on Smackdown or any other podcast. You know, just like Kurt Angle's time in TNA. I appreciate my time here fondly. I think I was at my absolute prime here. Like
so this is Perk Vince.
Perk Vince. Yeah. Well, I hopped off a straight edge after I did Smackin It Raw.
Perk Delgado.
Perk Delgado. And on top of that, so many names have been bestowed to me because of this podcast. At first you were trying to make Sexy Vince Delgado be a thing or whatever. That didn't stick we got
because you refused to embrace it.
Well, we got Daddy Delgado, we got the Pornhub Poppy, the Sultan, the Spirit Swallow, the Deadbeat Poppy, because I was so absentee that Katie had to step up. She became the father that stepped up.
You guys, I want everyone to realize something real quick since Vince brought that up. Does everyone here know how the Pornhub Poppy race actually got started?
Yes.
So again,
I mean, I do. I don't know if everyone.
Chill, Vince. Just listen. Again,
Daddy,
this is
chill.
the final episode. We're pulling back the curtain. This is the Wizard of Oz. So Vince was going through some personal shit and was needing to take time off. And again, he was struggling with his love of podcasting and wrestling and some other stuff. So Katie was filling in for Vince a lot, which was part of me hooking Katie into being my regular co-host here every week, where I ended up getting them both. Katie then came out and said that she's been on more shows than Vince, so she's the Poppy now, because we were calling Vince the Pornhub Poppy. So then, basically to just get Vince to show up on the show, I started the Pornhub Poppy race, and I told Vince, if you want to still be Pornhub Poppy, you got to start coming back to work every week. And if you don't, Katie's going to take your title, which Vince was not happy about.
Oh, no. I was trying to find every single which way to avoid this race. I'm not trying to get any kind of cardio whatsoever. Like I was trying to politic my way. I was trying to hit you with that doesn't work for me, brother. but I didn't have that creative control in my contract, unfortunately. It became a whole thing. People enjoyed it. People had their favorites. There was in case and I should have won had Matt not benched me. Well, originally the way that it was supposed to be set up, and we talked about this on an episode of Spit or Swallow, was that the Pornhub Poppy race would go as follows. If Vince has to miss a day, Katie will fill in. If Vince can go, then Katie sits out. If Vince does less show than Katie at the end of the year, Katie is hereby the new Pornhub Poppy. But then it became a thing where Katie's like, no, I'm showing up, and Matt's like, no, Katie's showing up. It's like, but I'm here anyways. So it just became a thing. It's like, well, who does the show more often? And listen, she's the hardest working woman in podcasting for a reason. She gave me a run for my fucking money. And yes, if Matt did not bench her a couple weeks, she would have won because I had to take a couple sick days and PTO days and just unexcused absences. But Katie held it down.
And I'm not going to lie, the only reason I benched Katie was because Vince raised the argument that this was not how the race was supposed to go, and it is unfair that she is available every week and he is not.
Oh my God.
It makes it hard to race. Yes, yeah.
Makes it hard to race.
It's like if you start a race and then Vince has to sit out for 4.5 weeks, and then he's gonna try and catch up to her. It doesn't.
Yeah, and then my cardio's ass to begin with.
She's in fucking Michigan.
The man was dedicated.
Well, I know.
I mean, we were all at a Bulls game, the whole Getcho crew and Vince, and we all.
I read back. I was hanging out with Justin in the Getcho podcast. Daryl bought me a drink. They were trying to take me to Chinatown to get some Chinese
And the man was
food.
so dedicated. He's like, I gotta go. I can't lose.
I can't lose the race.
And the rest of us were like, for real?
So I met just from listening to other wrestling podcasts and reaching out and talking to Daryl, thinking I was talking to Just. Vince reached out to me and said, "Hey, I like you. I think you're funny. We have the same podcast name almost. Do you want to do a collab?" And I'm not going to lie, when he first reached out, I was kind of like, fuck that show. Smackin' It Raw is a way better name than Smack Raw. But like, I listened to Vince and RN, and they seemed pretty cool. And I was like, yeah. Rylan, I met through Vince. Vince brought Rylan and Kyle to me.
Yes.
Bakley was part of what I like to refer to as the Podcasting Network starter pack.
Which one?
Exactly. All of them, apparently. The Universal Wrestling Podcast, Tim King, Circle of Debate, Cage My IQ, this conglomeration that I met through a podcast that also no longer exists that I'm not going to mention or talk about because Katie had a really bad time, the one and only time I had them on the show. I got sucked into this group that I didn't even really like agree to be a part of. What was the name of it originally, Bakley?
I don't remember.
Was it League of
Right?
League of
Yeah,
Yes, I remember this.
Okay.
And I got added to this group without anyone, no consent, by the way. It wasn't like, hey,
there never is consent. There never is consent.
No.
I just showed up one day and I was like in the fucking group and I'm like, oh, hi. And they're like, we're going to do this podcasting network and you should be a part of it. And I'm like, what you guys don't seem to understand is like Smackin' It Raw. When I say it is under the Creation World umbrella, so I have known Travis, and I've told this story, but I have known Travis since third grade. We have been friends for a very long time. And Travis started doing this whole podcasting thing, and I came to him and said, hey, I want to do a podcast, and he gave me a wrestling podcast to do.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how Smackin' It Raw started. But it was always part of the Creation World network. So there was never an opportunity for me to take this and just go do it somewhere else and join a network. And I kept trying to explain that to people, and they didn't seem to get it. That is not important. What is important is through that, like I said, I got to meet Tim King and his sexy fucking voice. I had a good time with the Universal Wrestling Podcast until Nick, who is about 4'0", came on, got really drunk on wine and weird, and then said he was going to come back and do a redemption episode and never did.
I was going to mention that too.
Went and hung out with Circle of Debate, but of everybody in that group, the one person who has stuck by me, shown me the most support, taken care of me, shown me love, been there whenever I've needed him, is Daniel Bakley, my favorite ginger.
Yes.
And don't get me wrong, Ivan shows a lot of support, mostly because he thinks I'm sexy as fuck, and he will let you know that in the chat. But Ivan has always reached out and been like, I want to have you on Circle of Debate. You guys need to come through. But while we have been on the show, he has been in the chat. He has supported us. He has retweeted us. Ivan is, we love you. Papacito, is that what you guys call him?
No.
OPC.
Yeah, no.
OPC.
He's OPC.
OPC. Okay.
Me and Justin and Getcho are Papacitos.
Yes.
Because
Okay.
it
So
was a whole
OPC.
thing. It became a thing because I was Pornhub Poppy. I was whatever Poppy. And he's like, no. Poppy is me. I'm the original Poppy. So then he's like, you're the original Poppy Chulo. You're the OPC. So I gave him OPC. That stuck, and then I'm like, just call me Papacito. None of us. It almost became a whole Pornhub Poppy situation all over again.
Yeah.
So I was like, let's nip this right in the fucking butt.
Which
here.
wasn't in the original contract signing when we partnered there, but we smooth things out. So
Yeah.
But out of everyone from that group, by the way, Tim King has been to my house.
Tim,
Like literally been to my house.
Something that I have yet to experience to this day.
Yeah, well,
You guys live in the same city.
it's coming.
Vince was supposed to show up and come pick up Pop Toys and then canceled on me and never got back to me about it. We were going to meet up and do this whole thing because I had all these Pop Toys I was getting rid of. Vince is like, I'll come by. And then never gave me a time or date. And then we had one set and he canceled. So Vince has had an opportunity to come here.
Yeah.
And has never re-upped on it.
Let's all go.
Listen, I've been trying to set up a carne asada at Casa de Ritter for a while, and I understand there's complexions there. It's not necessarily
complications, not complexion. I mean, we're white. There is literally no complexion. I'm, as a Sicilian, I am the darkest in my family, which, by the way, my daughter today, I said something about me being white. My daughter's like, Daddy, you're not white, you're tan. And I'm like, oh, thank you, baby.
Oh, yeah, let's go.
That's all right there. Yes.
Quick side story, real quick side story before I forget. Today, I went into a Jimmy John's to get some lunch. And when I walked in, the guy behind the counter, now normally if you see me, I am in a wrestling t-shirt. Obviously today I am not, but I'm in them so much that I just constantly think I am. So when this guy looked at me and said, hey, do you know who the Big Show is? I just assumed he saw the wrestling t-shirt and he's trying to start a conversation. So I'm like, yeah, I know who the Big Show is. He goes, did anyone ever tell you you look just like him? Because when you walked in, I almost asked for an autograph, and I was like, I'm a little short to be the Big Show. And he goes, oh, the height doesn't matter. And the guy making the sandwiches in the back goes, that guy's like 7 foot tall. What are you talking about? The height
and you
doesn't
can't
matter.
teach that.
to which the guy behind the counter responded, well, you could be his brother. And I was like, all right, cool, man. I appreciate it. Thanks.
Man.
Nice to be confused for the Big Show, even though I'm fucking 5'8", at a Jimmy John's the day I'm possibly ending my wrestling podcasting career. Weird cap. Weird cap for that.
You should have told him, Matt, that you are the Big Show in another way.
You should have told him. They threw you in the dryer. You just shrunk a little. Like,
damn. No fabric softener. No fabric softener.
The camera adds 2 feet.
The camera adds 2 feet. Listen, the first time I met Matt, there was also a height story to be told.
Oh my god!
I've never met Matt prior to this. I always knew he always presented as a very large figure. He has a large presence, obviously, because he is who he is.
It's my dick.
Yes,
could be.
Yeah, yes. So we were going to go to the Get Show podcast studio here in Bolingbrook, Illinois. This was prior to joining Get Show. It was just me and Matt. We were going to join up. Hang out for the first time, and we go there
pre-bodega days. And he rolls up in just like a wrestling tee. Like, were you wearing a Smack Raw tee or like a Bray Wyatt tee? I was probably wearing a Smackin It Raw tee. I think I was.
Yeah. You were probably wearing a Smack Raw tee with like basketball shorts and like flip flops. And I was like, is that Matt? I don't think that's Matt. I think he'd be taller.
He sees me every day, looks at my face every week on the podcast.
Well, to be fair, I just assumed you to be taller, and you walk up to me and you're about my height, and I was like, "Oh, what's up, dude? I thought you'd be taller." Oh, I literally told him I thought you'd be taller. It was one of the first things I told him. Was like, I thought you'd be taller. And I said the same thing about Benji. When I met Benji the first time, I was like, "Bro, I thought you'd be taller." Like but Benji went up to me kind of weird about it too. But the first time I met Matt,
Benji was weird.
No, right? Groundbreaking stuff here.
Is he still alive, by the way? I just got to check.
We talked about road tripping to New York and carpooling with him in it, and he was down for it. That was the last time I heard from him, which was like
I did speak to him today, actually. So
I
do have a text. Yeah.
Is he returning to Earth anytime soon?
That is still debatable.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys know this. He's an alien, and not of the kind that the MAGA people don't like, but like an extraterrestrial. Some days he looks like he is. Sometimes he looks like he's Middle Eastern. Sometimes he looks like he's Hispanic. Most of the time, he looks like he's Ron Jeremy. It's very confusing.
Ron Jeremy.
Bro, the thing that killed me is that he started wrapping his fucking face like a fucking turban on the fucking episode of Smackin It Raw, I think.
Yes!
Fucking rapping this shit.
We also I know that this is only a thing between the cafeteria, but we do have to mention one of the funniest things that we have all done together is the cafeteria court. Cafeteria court with the court of Benji. What was his allegation? Sending crazy ass pictures or something?
I don't recall what Benji went to court for.
And it was just a hilarious time. He's a hilarious guy.
You were a horrible defense attorney, by the way.
Listen,
yeah, Justin offered to be his defense.
I thought we were just gonna do it as a thing for 5 minutes and that be it. You know, this is the pandemic era.
Reek,
you know what I'm saying?
Reek was.
When I saw Reek show up in a suit, I'm like, this is gonna be.
Reek showed up in the suit and he had evidence.
My god,
he had witnesses and everything. Like he was.
I hosted a Zoom call for this, which was fantastic, and we all just sat here as a jury of their peers and rendered a verdict. I still think Benji was guilty, but listen, Benji let Justin be his defense attorney, and that's on Benji because, and Justin, we love you, but there was a long time where Justin mispronounced like common wrestler names, and I wasn't sure if it was a gimmick or if he just didn't know what he was saying.
He still says
because he still texts in broken sentences. At least he doesn't do it in all caps anymore. So
that was the only way to know whether or not in the early days of Getcha if you were talking to Justin or Daryl. If it was in all caps, it was Justin. If it was regular,
listen,
font,
Justin speaks fluent English. His texts, you would think, come from somebody who is from the Philippines and just learned how to speak English. There are words missing.
I second most of them. This.
Oh yeah, Rylan knows. We've had some conversations back and forth.
I've never had the thought, but now that you say it, you're completely accurate on that.
Justin literally texted me on Tuesday, and this is what it said. The Plan B joke, smiley face, smiley, or laughy face. Also wanted to let you know, mind you, he's texting me, just me. Love how you and Matt kept the joke of Bronson selling the sneakers on eBay going. Me and Matt.
So sometimes when I'm doing these texts, I'm doing the whole speak thing. So that's where it gets
that makes it worse.
Yeah, actually. I know, but sometimes I'm
because you're saying it out loud and hitting send afterwards.
I'm working and I have 10 minutes to myself. Okay, like how can I before I lose the train of thought at the moment? I usually do the speak text, which is wrong. Pretty soon Bakley's gonna feel this too because I've texted him many times when we're talking about New Japan. So
aren't you guys gonna do like a watch along?
Yeah, we're prepping ourselves for 4 a.m. We're prepping ourselves for 4 a.m.
Tonight, 4 a.m.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You guys are fucking sickos.
Listen. I was before we got sidetracked. I was in the middle of putting Bakley over because, like I said, Bakley's always. Listen, Bakley was part of the worst episode of Getting Off we've ever produced, and that was all Vince's fault. Because we were going live to talk about it, and Vince showed up, and I had already had a bad day, and then Vince decided to fuck with me on my show because he had access to it, and just threw me off my game, which is not easy to do. And we actually had to redo our Final Destination episode because I hated it so much because I just could not find my fucking groove on that show. Bakley recently came on and did trivia, knowing full well that he was not going to win the trivia, but did it because I needed somebody. And you did. And I needed somebody, and he was there for me. Bakley keeps me up to, like I said, up to date on everything Bloodsport and New Japan and Great Okan. And sometimes I feel bad because he texts me at awkward times when I'm busy and I can't really respond. So I'm like, oh, okay. And then I don't get back to him to actually respond to what he sent me because shit's going on. But
you do that to me sometimes too, but it's okay. You're a busy man.
I have 2 children, a wife, and a full-time day job. Yeah.
I know. Listen, I understand that I'm not your priority number one, even though I probably should be.
I do it to Justin too. Like literally, Justin sent me 4 full sentences. One was a partial paragraph, and I just sent him a laughing emoji, and that was the only response he got from me, or a heart. Sometimes I'll just heart his shit to be like, I did read this, and I saw it. I'm too busy to respond, but I did read it.
And I get it, and that's totally cool. The thing about Bakley, though, he's better than the Wrestling Observer. He actually gives you real facts.
He really is.
Yeah.
Real facts, real things in real time. You know.
Yeah. I know who's getting my vote if there's ever like a fucking election for that. Let him be the Wrestling Observer. I'm down for Bakley taking over.
I could get that made for it. I would.
We talked Wallop Media for a long time. The very first episode that Rylan and Kyle came on was one of my favorite episodes of Smackin It Raw we had ever done. We had so much fun and laughed so hard. And from there, I have pretty much, what is the one show that Wallop has that I haven't done?
Well, you haven't done the sports show. You haven't done the sports show.
Well, that's never going to happen. So
yeah, I was going to say, like, what are we doing here?
Maybe I'll come on just to be like, oh, the Bears suck, and be on for like 5 seconds and then be like, oh, I did it. But like,
you have to, because I'm coming for that title of being on every single Wallop show.
You guys are definitely. The problem is we keep creating new ones, so like it gets more and more challenging. But
I'm coming for that.
Yeah, no, like you. I think other than the sports one, you have you have to do the wrestling news show that we do.
Okay. Because I've done over under.
Yep.
Me and Katie did over under. What did you not do over under yet, Vince? Is that why you're grunting over there?
No. That's because of I laughed so hard. I started coughing, so I'm trying.
Some of the cum came back up and it got caught, and you had to clear it out.
Yeah, it tends to happen from time to time. You know,
you are the Sultan of spit or swallow. So, but no, I've done over under talking horror movie characters and horror movies. I've done the Wallop Rewind. I have done.
You are welcome to come back anytime to that one because that was so much fun. That's one of my favorite Wallop Rewinds we've ever done.
Oh,
I did World's Funniest Podcast just to prove to Rylan that I was fucking funny because he told me that Katie was funnier than me.
He took that personally. To this day, you heard him so badly that Katie was the funniest person on Smackin It Raw. He's taken it to the left titty ever since then.
And that's the thing is, it's not even that I think that I'm more funny than Katie. I just think I'm as funny as Katie. That we are on equal footing.
I like how I'm not even in the conversation.
You're not. It's okay.
I will also say, like, I did say that on her show. You got to put over the host of the show, like, and you know, I said what I said.
So he's trying.
But then you came on this show and doubled down. So, and I was the host of the show.
Yeah, you took it well. You know,
clearly. I brought on Kyle's girlfriend just to be like, Kyle's girlfriend's way funnier than Rylan. He's a stand-up comedian.
You know what? Like, she is very funny. And that was a great episode as well. My God.
Mm-hmm. Oh my God. I'm still
mad.
So
if we're looking at the list, I think me and Matt are kind of tied in this whole Grand Slam race.
I don't know.
So just putting it out there. I mean, there's 3 people gunning for this race. I'm just saying.
Well, you know who's not tied in the race? Speaking of other podcasts we've done and things I've done wrestling wise, I am the first and only apron bump Grand Slam Golden Apron champion.
Are you?
I am.
Oh my God!
I beat Charlie.
Damn
I beat Kenny, and I beat Katie. Yep.
Yeah, you were on there with Pretty Kyle a lot for sure.
And Pretty Kyle was on here a lot, and we always had fun, and we always had great episodes.
Oh yeah,
I'm part of every single clusterfuck. I think he was part of the first one for sure. I think he was part of the second one too.
And like I said, we had Joey Carney on here. We had Kenny from Kenny for Your Thoughts a few times. I did a couple shows, just like the 4 of us. It was me, Kenny, Joey, and Kyle. We've done a lot of cool things in this wrestling space. So today is bittersweet because I look back on 8 years of fun and friends. And again, I'm still doing Getting Off. I'm not really going anywhere.
Yeah.
I will be around. And if you tickle my fancy with something wrestling wise, I might show up and come do your show and talk about some wrestling with you. But currently there's nothing going on that I want to cover wrestling wise. And this is not a podcasting community.
We should watch AAA together.
No.
Riley and I were having a good old jolly time.
Still on.
Vince tried to do that. He's like, "Are we going to cover AAA, or is that going to be over too late?" I'm like, "Dude, I got to work the next day." And then he's like, "All right, well, we won't cover AAA." I'm like, "Dude, I was never going to cover AAA. I was just going to let you talk about it. I wasn't watching that shit. Like, I was not doing that."
Oh. Yeah, I gotta show you the clip of Micro Man versus Omos.
Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh!
Like Matt,
fat asses and face masks are the only thing I'm watching from AAA.
And honestly, you're gonna get that. I'll send you clips. I'll tell you at what point to tune in. I'll give you timestamps. If you want what'd you say, fat asses and face masks?
Just like I'm not tuning into New Japan unless Great O'Khan is winning the world title. I'm not tuning into AAA unless Mr. Iguana is winning the AAA Mega Championship. And last I checked, he was not in the main event, so I am not.
He was not.
Sorry,
so is Mr. Iguana
no.
your favorite dude that's been introduced from AAA?
Mine and pretty much everyone else in the world. Yeah.
Yeah.
You're not wrong. You're not.
Which is crazy because the Mexican crowd hated the man. He was getting booed. He was not getting cheered. And then he comes to the States.
Well, he just had to find the right audience. And
now they like him a little bit more. They like him a little bit more. But man, dude's a fucking icon here in the States.
I was gonna say they like him a little bit more because they're like, oh no, we're not gonna let these white folks steal our dude. We gotta support now. And I get
yeah, that's what it is. That's what it is. It's
100%.
that. It's
now
that.
Now we're trying to steal Micro Man.
So Matt, what would be your top 5 Smackin' It Raw episodes?
Oh, dude, I have no fucking clue.
Just on the top of your head. It doesn't have to be like an order of. I mean, Clusterfuck, right? It has to be up there.
The first episode we did with Wallop is up there.
Yes.
Yeah. Really, any of the Clusterfuck episodes. Dude, I'd actually have to go through and
remember the roast of Vince?
The roast of Vince was fantastic.
Oh my! That was with Ivan, right?
Was
Ivan was in there. I was in that one.
I was in the chat.
I think
My fiance.
I think it was the 4 of us. You, me, Ivan.
I don't remember who the fuck else was in there, but Will was in there in the chat. Katie was in the chat. My wife was in the chat. My wife roasted me in the chat.
The one thing I remember, I think it came from Allison. Shout out, boss bitch. She said that after you come, you say bro. That was that. I was like, I can't do this show. I have all the things I was gonna say are gone because I can't stop laughing. Nothing can top that. You know?
If I can go back and just reread the whole transcript of that chat, I would.
We talk about it all the fucking time, but there is the one lost episode of Smackin' It Raw where when I was still recording, we weren't using, like, we were doing Zoom and I was we had to take the audio out and Travis wasn't available. And I did a little production on that, and I sent him the audio, and he never received it, and he couldn't open it. Oh. And it was like episode 22 or some shit, and it never got fucking posted. And then I tried to run it back with Katie and Reek, and they sat down, and they listened to the episode, and we reacted to this episode, which was basically me talking about how at that point in time, which would have been 2017 or late 2017, early 2018. Goldust should win the World Heavyweight Championship, and why I thought Goldust was the greatest thing in late 2017, early 2018, and how much he had won me over. It was episode 20. It would have been November of 2017. We listened to it. We recorded it. The goal was to react and then play the audio and record that. The audio still did not record. You could only hear me, Reek, and Katie talking about the audio that we were all listening to, but the audio did not play back on the fucking episode that we recorded to re-release. Weirdest fucking thing ever. But yeah, it would have been episode 20. So if you go back in the archives, we jump from Eric lies about Mordecai, which was a whole thing where Eric one of my first co-hosts would talk about how Mordecai, the wrestler, was in the rafters at all of the WWE shows, watching and waiting to come down. It was a whole thing. We go from that to yes, episode 20 is missing. So Eric lies about Mordecai. Yes, episode 20 is missing.
I love that.
My wife has been on the show. I have gotten my best friend's soon-to-be wife, his fiance, not only into wrestling, but had her on the show to talk about it and helped her grow her love of professional wrestling. And those two still watch wrestling together to this day, which is awesome. They used to come over for all the pay-per-views and hang out before they moved to Tennessee. I'm trying to scroll through and look at some episodes.
When I first came on Smackin' Raw, I was in one house. This is the third house I've been in since I've done the show in like almost 6 years. Like I got married and engaged in the time span that I've done this show. When I started this show, I had not met my wife yet. Now I've met my wife. So like in that time span, it's crazy. Like I still got the Funko Pops behind me still. That's the one
like
thing that
the old school, like the old school ways.
Yeah, like the old school. Yeah, when I started, I had like the whole like
in your room.
And then now I have the wall behind me again.
I also loved the rise and fall of HKW, where I got to sit down with my friends that I grew up with and talk about our backyard wrestling federation, which is also the debut of the Rack, where the Rack first showed up and started harassing people.
Just shocked the Rack hasn't shown up tonight. I'm shocked.
And he's not going to.
I see what you're trying to do, Ryan. I saw that.
He was trying to set it up. He was trying to do something.
That was when the first time the Rack showed up was one of like, because I did not know, I had never seen the Rack before, and we're in the middle of doing an episode with them. And then all of a sudden, Matt slowly puts on these sunglasses. And I see Katie's in the corner like, no. And Vince gets all excited. And then, then the guy shows up and just knocks the fucking house down.
The Rack is a thing. It's definitely a thing.
One of the best things. One of the best Matt creations.
It's up there, man. It's up there. I think the first time we had Rylan on here in Kyle, it wasn't Wallop Media. I think they were still Wednesday Night Wallop.
Oh, yeah. Definitely.
I think they were still Wednesday Night Wallop.
Obviously, they were, because I was still calling them Wednesday Night Wallop well after they had rebranded, and Ryland had to call me out on it. I also was calling him Ryland with a D for a very long time, and he didn't notice.
Nope, not one bit.
Not one bit. That sounds like Token and Tolkien from South Park.
Tolkien, yeah.
Oh my
god. I like our rear end reviews.
Yes.
This year we were supposed to actually talk about male asses, and Ashley was taking notes for male asses this year. In contention where the Garzas. They had some cakes this year.
Definitely. You have to include Big E on that list.
Well, he has not been showing his cheeks this year, so he can't. Like
Swallowing Havoc,
yes.
Swallowing Havoc 2, Swallowing Havoc 3, Season of the Witch.
Yeah.
Swallowing was one of your favorite things you came up with for episodes. It was like very themed episodes for sure. Oh man,
I dressed up for Halloween one year when we did that.
Mm-hmm.
I dressed up with you, and I kept changing my costumes because I had a cowboy hat. I was a cop as well at one point. Can't remember what else I dressed up as, but I had so many different costume changes that episode. No, but yeah.
Going through all of the titles that we would come up with for the episodes in the rear end reviews and picking our favorite ones, picking our favorite guest of the year, all of that fun shit. I loved all that.
Yeah. Throughout the course of the episodes of the years, you've gotten TC to actually say the word swallow instead of just like sipping from his cup. So that's a thing. He wouldn't say swallow. He'd just take a sip from his cup. He actually says swallow.
And then people that you wouldn't expect that you look at and kind of think like they'd go the TC route, coming up with some of the dirtiest, most disgusting descriptions of swallowing was so entertaining. For
Everyone
no reason
being
whatsoever.
gay for you, every straight man or claims to be straight being gay for you is crazy too.
I believe the first time we did a show with you guys, Kyle, his very first spit or swallow, he's like, I got to gargle this. And I'm like, you were the last person I expected to hear say that. And that's my cousin, you know? I've known him for a minute.
This was an episode that I know Katie was on, and it is one of my favorite titles of all time. It was from 2021, and it is Clown Paint, Tears, Scissoring, and the Draft.
I was not there for that one. I remember when I heard that title, I was like, what the fuck is even this title?
I love it. God, I love it.
Clown, Tears, Scissoring, something else in the draft. Wow.
Sex, Drugs, and More Releases, which I think had Jizzy on it.
Yes. Are you just looking at the like episode titles now?
Bikini Bottoms and BBC.
Classic.
Yes.
Classic.
I like that one.
But we're gonna have to. We got about 5 minutes left, and then I gotta shower and get ready to go to my day job tomorrow. So, I want to thank everyone who has listened to this show, who has supported us, who has been a part of this, and all of the friends that we have made. We've got, the 4 people here. We've talked about Katie. We didn't talk about Young Kings Wrestling enough. We've had such a great time with Malik, who actually I got to work with once, but TC and Reek, everybody at Get Show besides Jay that I've got to work with because Jay refuses.
Oh my god!
At one point, Bakley had a co-host that randomly created me as a wrestler for some point for something.
Shit, yeah! Shout out.
He had never even been on the show. I was working on getting him on the show, and he canceled. But he did make me as a wrestler in 2K, which was really dope. That made me feel cool.
I forgot about that. Shit.
Yeah. But obviously, Katie, RN, Kyle, like we said, those wrestling girls getting to work with Queen PR was really cool. Down for the Count, who have done both Getting Off and Smackin It Raw. All of the girls over there are absolutely fantastic. Public Enemies.
Will and everybody from Botch Spots and Chair Shots. Allison. Love those guys.
Obviously, Will and Allison.
Yep.
Because again, Allison has created the videos for Getting Off, has done some amazing shit for the show as far as editing and producing and putting things together. Will is another one who has always been there if I've needed a co-host, been there to support me. He is not a real chef, but he is a real runner, so that's a thing.
Run, Forrest, run.
They've always been there. I got to meet them in person for WrestleMania for my birthday and put Will's meat in my mouth. It was absolutely fantastic. Wouldn't trade it for anything. We talked about Sir Wilkins. We talked about Foul. Mr. Warren Hayes, who I have so much respect for, even though we don't agree on a lot or enjoy anything in the wrestling realm similarly. I get along with the man great. It is proof that you do not have to agree on what you enjoy in wrestling to get along with someone and still talk about wrestling in an enjoyable way. I'm sad that Kristen and him have to have date night on Saturdays, which when we moved this to Saturdays disqualified him from being on the show because it has been far too long. But massive respect for him and working with him. That was a really cool moment for me the first time I got to do that. And then I was just like, oh, now he's just my friend and he's just this other guy. But it felt like a big deal when I first got to work with him. It was really cool. Frank from the Last Minute Wrestling Podcast, we talked about Kyle. He is the most gorgeous man in wrestling podcasting. And if you think otherwise, you're wrong. Best thighs in the business. Fucking love that guy. Tim King in a sexy voice. Jaylan, who has done multiple theme songs for this show, for Getting Off, for all of our friends, who has been on the show. He doesn't think he's funny or entertaining, but we all do. And I am really glad that he is part of Lechon Diaries now because I get to hear more from him.
Justin trying to take everybody. Just like, let me get a little Jalen, a little Dizzy, a little.
Listen, if people need a home, I'm willing to provide. You know,
he's got part-time jobs available at the bodega.
I got a lot of. There's a lot of things that you could do. You know,
Justin is literally just an orphanage for lost podcasts.
At some point, Matt might be running the register at the bodega.
I mean, there was a point in time where I was talking to Will and Justin, like, hey, if like Creation Conversation for whatever reason or Creation World went away and I had to go somewhere else to do this, would you let me come do it on your channel? And they're like, oh, absolutely. And that meant a lot, and that was really cool.
Yeah, no, don't open that door for Justin. He'll keep knocking on it.
Yep, 1,000%.
You'll be a member again in like 2 weeks.
As long as Creatia exists, this will be the home of this will be the home of Smackin It Raw, whether it returns or not. I want to thank you all for the good times, for the laughs, for the fun, and all of the friends that we have made along the way. My two amazing co-hosts, all of my guest hosts, you guys are all amazing. Thank you for joining me on this journey. And if at some point I find my smile and this returns, I'm looking forward to having you all back to do it again at some point in the future. But for now, because I got to get them all in and I didn't do any of them.
Who let the dogs out?
Because JC Jane is a fake ass bitch.
That's America's ass.
Yes, boy! Yes, boy!
And last but not least, as we close out the show.
Bye-bye, bitch.